First of all, I congratulate you for finishing this course. Congratulations. As the other leaders have said, you are really lucky because you are entering a very important organ of state, the police force of Uganda. As General Tafwire and other people have said, if you use this chance well, you will not regret. Some of us have been active in public affairs for a long time. You could talk of more than 50 years. And I have seen that when you are loyal to the people of Uganda and you avoid selfishness, many times you get rewarded. Therefore, be very careful. Do not be tempted to make shortcuts and do bad things, thinking that you are being clever. You will fail. I have seen so many in the last 60 years of Uganda's independence. People have ruined their lives thinking that they are clever in the wrong way. We are tightening our definition of the positive versus the negative. In many of our documents, we bring out that factor. In particular, we highlight the people we call wealth creators. All these countries which have developed have been developed by people who create wealth. If you go back 600 years, all countries in the world were backward. No knowledge of science, living in superstition. But some of the countries were lucky to get active scientists and also wealth creators. That's how they came up. Countries in Europe, you take a country like Britain. Britain is a small country, about the size of Uganda, but by 1700 it had become a very, very powerful country in the world. And what made it powerful? It's scientists and wealth creators. In our documents, we have pointed out to you that in the case of Uganda and in other parts of the world today, there are essentially 4 wealth creators. Number 1 are the commercial farmers. These create wealth for the country by growing crops, by rearing livestock, and by fishing. Uganda is wealthy and will be more wealthy on account of that category of wealth creators. The second category of wealth creators are the manufacturers, the people who own factories, big factories or small factories. Even if you own a maize mill, that's a factory. You are part of the wealth creators through value addition. Now, the third category of wealth creators are the service providers, a service of wherever. When you run a hotel, you are not growing food, you are not manufacturing soap, but you are providing a service. If people want to spend the night away from when they are not near their home, they don't have to disturb relatives. They can go and sleep in your facility and you pay them. A doctor, by treating people, provides a service. Government workers, like the policemen you are becoming, also provide a service. Like, for instance, in your case, you are providing a security service because people need security, and you are providing it. That's a service. So this is the third category of wealth creators. The fourth one is a new category which has come up in recent times, the category of electronics, computers, ICT. It is part of the service, but it's a special one. Therefore, we give it its own category. So therefore, you as a policeman, you need to know that as people create wealth for the country and for their families, they should do it legally according to the law. And your job, therefore, is to protect and support the wealth creators of Uganda according to the law. It's a simple job, a simple assignment. Immediately, you are not the one who is growing crops, you are not the one who is manufacturing, but your job is simply to provide security according to the law. Now, when that is done well by the policemen, the administrators, they do their part, the extension staff, the vets and so on do their part, your country will grow very fast. And the more wealth we create, the more jobs we create. You have now got jobs in the police force, but your sisters and brothers are at home. They can't all be policemen, so they need jobs. Who will create jobs? The wealth creators. The other day when I was here, I said, these commercial farmers, on the average, how many people are they employing? And I found they were employing like 10 people, each commercial farmer, smaller one, employing another 10 people. If you ask that man of Chinyara, he will tell you how many people he's employing. How many people are you employing, Chinyara? Is it Hoima? How many? 4,000. 1,000. 12,000. Now you imagine. One operator is employing 12,000 people. So therefore, with the NRM, we know, and we have told you, we have written, everything is in writing. You find Uganda now has surplus sugar, surplus milk, surplus bananas, surplus maize, so on. Why? But in 1986, Uganda was a country of shortages. Ebola into. What has happened? It is just the strategy of the government. The strategy of the government which gave protection and freedom to the wealth creators. So therefore, actually your job is a simpler one, because the farmers are the ones doing the bigger job. Those manufacturers are the ones doing the bigger job. Your job is simply to protect peace and wealth creation according to the law. When you do that, as the man has said, you create more jobs, collect more revenue, and we shall be able to improve your salaries. So therefore, the political educators in the police force and in the public service must contextualize this political education. If you are involving yourself in stealing land, you are interfering with the wealth creators, because they spend time going to court, solve problems created by corrupt public officials. The historical context is that Africa is not short of natural resources, but it has been short of wealth creators, i.e. people who turn natural resources into wealth. The land, turn it into maize, turn it into livestock, turn it into bananas, which create raw materials for factories and so on, so that we transform our society. We have been developing the police systematically, as you heard the IGP telling you. At one time, the police force, after the screening, 1986, the police force remained only with 3,000 people. But now you hear, we are talking of 50,000. But as you heard the IGP telling you, the proper ratio should be one policeman for every 500 citizens or population. And the population of Uganda is now 43 million. So we should be having, ideally, 86,000 policemen. We are short of policemen now by 30,000. And we can aim at that figure, but we need the money to pay them, and pay them well. Where will the money come from? From the economy. Which economy? Wealth creators. So therefore, when you hear people organizing riots, when you riot, where do you riot from? You riot in my shop, in front of my shop. if I am owning a shop. A shop owner is a service provider. You block lorries which are carrying bananas to the market. That means those bananas can ripen, can go bad because they are blocked by people who are rioting. So therefore, be careful of parasites. Anybody who is doing bad things, you know that he's a parasite. He doesn't know that by interfering with wealth creation, you are damaging the interests of the country, and how else will you live? Of course, when bad things happen, not everybody is unhappy. When animals die in the park, we are very sorry, our animals have died. But the vultures are happy because they go and eat the dead animals. So those who disturb peace sometimes are like vultures. They don't mind if there is disturbance of peace because they may eat the carcass of the So therefore, the police force must be ideologically and strategically clear. This is a historical mission for your country to move up and get out of backwardness. Move out how? Through wealth creation. Wealth creation by whom? The categories I've told you: farmers, manufacturers, wealth creators, scientists. Who is to protect them? The police and the armed forces. You can't go wrong. Once you get it clear in your head, you can't go wrong. And that's why the NRM has managed. Because when we came, we found that Idi Amin had created a problem. He had expelled the Indians. Why are you expelling the Indians? That they were sacking us. Sacking us how? I was born at Ntungamo. Have you heard of Ntungamo, you people? Oh, Ntungamo, P.O. Box, private bag Mbarara, if you have never heard of it. I was a cattle keeper. I was, and my parents were, and crop farmers. The Indians were bringing us what we did not have. So, how could you can see the thinking of a parasite like Idi Amin, because Idi Amin was not involved. If he had asked us, we the wealth creators, is there a problem with these Indians? We would have told him clearly that these Indians are helping us. They were bringing mahonde, this rock salt, from I don't know where. For us, we just come from Kafunjo, our village, we pick the rock salt for the cows. So the parasites, because they are not part of the wealth creation, and they don't bother to understand, they can't appreciate who is contributing and who is not contributing. When we came back, we said, no, the Indians come back, because you had no problem. The problem was Idi Amin. Now you hear this Indian here has already created 14,000 jobs for you. Now which other Munyoro has created 14,000 jobs? Omunyoro akozere mirimo omutwaro gumu n'enkumina ingoza kumurora hano kwaraba hariho. So the police force is expanding, but know your historical mission. I am very glad with the trainers. I could see the training was good. And these young people are all here, educated, they are all senior 4 and above. So really, the future is bright. Don't misuse your chance. If you act right, everything will move well for you and for the country. With these few words, it is my pleasure to pass out the 5,200 police constables on a probational basis. Remember that. Do you understand English, you people? You understand English like I do? You hear your title. Probational police constables. Now that I have passed you out, but remember, you are probational. Thank you so much. God bless you.